Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started with Factory Town. This is a game that I just discovered this week, actually, just a couple days ago, and I've had a lot of fun playing it in my evenings, and thought I would share kind of what I've discovered up to this point. Factory Town, I've heard that it's a mix of Factorio and Anno. I couldn't say because I've actually never played either. But I've really enjoyed this a lot. So what I'd like to do is kind of take you through what I've learned about it so far, and then maybe start a little file of our own to play with. So basically, what I have learned is they have kind of like a campaign mode that I think also serves as a tutorial. So I've played that. I've played two of the levels actually. I'm not sure how many there are, but I played the first level of the campaign. I played the second level of the campaign. And oh my gosh, I've learned so many things about the game in between playing. So basically, what happened was I played the first level of the campaign, figured stuff out along the way, and wanted to redo it. I didn't want to get my hands dirty with even more complicated things um, before I understood it. So I actually played that level of the campaign over again. So I just wanted to show you kind of my progression to start. So this is my first pass at campaign level 1, aka the tutorial, in its completion. So here's my little town. My town center's in the basically middle of everything. And you can see this big green ring outside, which is basically like the reach of the town center. All the things within it contribute to the rest of the town. So any houses, you can see those with the blue smiley faces, those are being fed basically by any stores within the ring as well. And then I have all these little workers running around and doing work for me. Basically, when I first started this tutorial, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Naturally, I played around with placing houses just wherever I could fit them and putting new buildings down as it told me to. Hey, you need a library, build a library. Um, and so I just put it down wherever I could fit it. And there wasn't a lot of rhyme or reason. So I got these people running around doing all of my work for me. And eventually I learned how to use these little, um, these are called chutes. And then, let's see, I have a little example right here of a conveyor belt. This is just a wooden conveyor belt. So eventually, I learned instead of having people carrying things long distance for me, I can have raw materials be passed down on a chute and more processed materials being moved by a conveyor belt into my buildings. So I slowly started picking that up. Basically, by the time this first pass through campaign level 1 ended. So I got a couple of automation set up here to help me with my loggery, more wood being collected over there, and a bit of farming, some wheat and coal processing into, it looks like I probably made some flour and bread coming out here. Something else I learned about this really early, or what I didn't figure out rather this early, was how important this happiness is. Everything is revolved around happiness. I think you level up from happiness, but also your buildings work more efficiently based on happiness. So, see if I can find you a good example. I might not have enough happiness, honestly, to make that the case. Yeah, I don't see any happiness bonus on any of my buildings, so I might just not even be happy enough to have that effect. So anyway, this first pass was just me figuring things out. And after I played it, I really enjoyed it and wanted to learn more. So I went on YouTube and watched some, albeit old, but good YouTubers playing this game a couple years ago. It sounded like when it first came out, or maybe it was still in pre-release. And then I wanted to come back and learn the basics again, or rather have another shot at the basics. that's what this 1.2 is. So let me show you. So I think overall I have way more organization. I tried to keep all my housing together. I tried to more efficiently group um, my different buildings and all their processes. I used conveyors a little bit more efficiently. And now when I do have people working, they're mostly just processing materials and bringing it to a chute. I have only a handful of people running around. Basically everything else is much more processed. So I think that goes a lot more efficient, and I've used up my my workers more efficiently. Something else I learned in this game is how to use or this pass through the game is how to use wells. So I've got several here along the riverbank, and you can actually go underground and see this pipe system. So I've got pipes bringing my water to my different buildings so that I don't have to have people running it one barrel at a time. Also, I think I just understood the the whole system better, how to utilize more resources. So I think I don't remember having apples going last time. Um, you can see my bread there was being sold. Let's see, I've cotton this time. Overall, just much better. Then I attempted campaign level 2, and this definitely brought the complexity of the game up a lot. We learned a lot more technology, and I've just expanded so much. So now my town center, you can see the map is a little bit different too. They gave it a little bit more challenge um, in the pure amount of trees kind of getting in the way of how much space you have. There's also a lot more elevation, so you can see that kind of makes it difficult when placing pads. You need all this support system underneath your pads and buildings, and it can kind of, I don't know, get in the way. Doesn't let you expand very well. So something I did better here, we can unpause the game so we can see. Um, Again, I did a lot better about not having people running around by the end. Couple people loading up rocks up here. Um, and a person that looks like picking apples for me over here, picking cotton for me over there. But otherwise, a lot more is automated. I've discovered a forester that can just harvest your trees for you, and farms which can harvest your carrots or wheat or whatnot for you. This is the first time I implemented pastures, so it looks like we probably have a cow of some sort here because we're making leather. Uh, I thought I had another pasture. Here's another one. This must be a chicken pasture because it's producing chicken, although it's also producing milk. So maybe I have a milk producing chicken, maybe I have chickens and cows together. I'm not really sure there. You can see though at the end, while I understood the automation aspect a lot more, things are starting to look a little hectic. I've got conveyor belts going from basically one side of my town all the way to the other. This came down a little bit to not knowing what to expect. I had never made it this far up in the tech tree before, and so I didn't even know what I was going to be making, let alone what was needed to make it, and how best to clump those things together to be more organized. But once again, after playing through this round, I watched a couple YouTubers go a little bit further, understood a little bit more, and then decided to play it again. So 2.5, I labeled my second attempt at this same file. So let's see, it looks like the town center's in the exact same place, but instead I expanded a little bit more right this time. You can see, I don't know, I didn't point out the statistics at the top here, but this game was just so much more smooth. I have probably 5 to 10 more houses, a significant more number of workers available, and way, 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 way more happiness, probably on 100 points or more. Um, Things were just going way more smoothly as I understood exactly what I needed to do to make things happen. So, one thing that really stood out to me in the beginning was I made these standalone little processors over here. So this system harvested trees, made wood planks out of my big, um, I don't know, big pieces of wood. And then I also got them working into fluid pipes so that I could improve my water flow. I've got another standalone over here, again, processing wood into planks and then harvesting stone and making wooden rails. Somewhere on here, I'm going to get turned around. Somewhere on here, I also made a processing for conveyor belts too, because those are used a lot, a lot, a lot. But I kind of started to condense things. So I figured out how to better organize a farm, how I can put farm tiles on it in order to optimize the production, and got things just clumped a little bit tighter together. There's probably pros and cons to this. I have understood that like the reach of the town, let's see, this I can actually give you an example now. I mentioned how happiness can boost production. So I can get you an example here somewhere. Maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth because naturally now I haven't been able to find one. Well, I'll make sure to point it out as when I come across it. Maybe the game. No, it doesn't look like pausing the game makes a difference. Okay, we'll pin that, come back to it. But basically, I just figured out, saving space in some situations might make more sense. This is probably my longest thing here. I grew grain way out here to feed my animals to produce enough materials to make, these are sandwiches here on my conveyor belt. The only reason this is so ridiculously long was because my tavern, which sells my sandwiches, has to be within the ring of the town hall, basically, town center. So that had to be there, but my plot of wheat was way out here, so it made more sense to just do most of my production here and then ship the bread sandwiches all the way down. But otherwise, I did a lot better, even this time, at keeping things more condensed. So I've got a apple farm here being produced into both raw apples and jam and being sold. It looks like we are making cloth from cotton, turning that into shirts and jackets. Jackets, of course, need leather, so we have a different leather production happening over here. Some raw potatoes being sold. Otherwise, just keeping things even more condensed. Really used farms a lot more. And then a neat thing about the pipes layer is I've got all this water, right? I've got water coming to all my houses here. I've got water coming out of wells and into my various farms throughout the land. But down here, look at this. So I also have a milk pipe. So milk is being carted from my pasture, assuming it's a cow, and into the kitchen that can produce cheese. So it's kind of faded there, but you can see this little cheese molecule being passed from the kitchen into the next. And then also, funnily enough, you need like a cloth fiber to make cheese. So I just equated it to the fact that you need fiber to kind of wrap your cheese in and age. And I think I've got another liquid pipe, yeah, over here. So this one's not currently producing anything. Let me see if I can press play. There we go. Let's see if I can pause it while it's in the pipe. So this is apple juice. So I've got an apple farm producing apples, sending those apples to the kitchen. Kitchen's producing apple juice, and then sending it along to another. I think this is probably a shop to sell my apple juice. So just really funny that you can ship any liquid basically underground into pipes via pipes. But yeah, that's where I left off. Um, I was considering two things today, either basically playing the same level of production again, and yeah, let's do that. I was going to say considering playing the next campaign versus starting a custom map, or a new map rather, um, and just doing that same thing, getting as far as I have and maybe continuing to optimize versus like playing the next level of the campaign. But the campaigns take me a long time because I'm still figuring things out. So I think it might be best if we just kind of do this and I can show off early game to anyone who wants to learn about it. Alright, let's see what we got. Let's take a quick look around. So this is our starting map. You can see we've got all this stuff on here that doesn't need to be. We will not be coming into contact with basically any of this. If you hear squeaks, meows, or scratches, those are my cats. I have a kitten, he's very young, and he doesn't meow very well yet, so that could be extra noise, which I apologize for. Yeah, basically I was just getting rid of extra things up here that I never even encountered before, and therefore won't be useful to have on the map yet. Let's see, cloth, leather, wood wheels, those are fine. So, took a quick look around at what we've got. We've got a couple tree patches, some stone, cotton and wheat together, grain, more cotton, that's good. We need lots of cotton early on. More wheat. Wow, we've got a long distance before our first, like, raw food besides wheat. That's definitely not within our ring. The ring will grow as the town center does, so that won't be too bad. Iron ore, but I've not had any use for that yet. Herbs, carrots, more grain. So I think this will be pretty challenging actually, because some of these things are so far away. I think one of the things in probably the next campaign level that I will learn is how to more effectively transport things from long distances. As it stands, uh, the best thing that I've discovered at this point is just the conveyor belts, which can get really messy. Here's some bubbles. That means we can catch some fish. I've actually never done that before, but I saw it on another person playing, and so that would be a really good source of food. Trying to check for any other bubbles. There's another one down there. I think the first bubble might be slightly closer, especially given the fact the body of water comes here. Okay. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and start playing and see where we get to. So we start out with this level 1 town center and some just basic path around it and a couple people. I think it would make the most sense to have them start collecting some wood. I don't have a lot to work with here, so I'm actually going to get rid of these paths for now. Paths are really helpful. They help your people run faster, and obvious like they connect the different buildings within your town. Um, but for now, that was 30 wood. That will help me out along the way. Let's see. Basically, we need planks, the second one, to make everything. So I'm going to need more planks. The building that produces that is lumber mill. So it looks like I need to come up with some stone in order to make that happen. So let's send all of you to get some stone and drop it off at the town center while I kind of sit here and think. One thing I could do is I could actually move our town center somewhere else. Um, there's no need for it to be here, I don't think. So we could consider moving it somewhere with better, like, food access. We talked about the fish down there, or just open space like this would be really nice. But then I will be not having pretty much any rock without shipping it across. And it will be a while. Will it? I think it will be a little bit before I can actually make these things. I have to research the proper buildings that can produce conveyor belts and chutes. Yeah, so chutes and conveyor belts are locked to me still under research. In order to get that going, I need a library. So let's think about that. First things first is actually getting a library going. So to do that, the easiest way is to send cotton into the library. But I don't have the library unlocked. I must need to update this tech level. So yeah, I need planks to get the tech level. I'm assuming the tech level 2 will get the library, and we will go from there. So what we're doing looks like it's working. We've got lots of stone now. So I'm going to get this lumber mill working over here. I'm going to keep it really close to the tree line for right now. We can always move things later. So this is saying it's no worker capacity because I'm out of people. So to fix that, I need to plant some houses. I need to place some houses. So what I'm going to do for now is just put one along the way. That way I have 2 more people to start working. We'll throw them in there, and then we'll send all of these guys to chop wood. And this will start making planks. We're just doing a really basic setup right here, right now. Hopefully you don't go all the way around anymore. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just while we're trying to get our feet off the ground. So as soon as we get up to... Oh, silly me, I forgot that I need people taking the planks out. So let me place another house, get my 2 more people. They can pick the planks up there and drop them off there. And they should start using the pathway now and go a lot faster. So I probably only need 1 worker in there for right now. We can add 1 more person moving this along. Okay, tech level's up. We've got lots more markets now. So here's the school. That's going to be a really important one. Food market, general store, masonry, woodworking, basic logistics, grain processing, civics. So all of these are just researches that I have available to update in the future. The big things right now is general store, school, and food market have been unlocked. So we are going to be placing a school. What's happening? Now we really do need another worker. So we will get rid of one of you, add here. I've kind of caught up with production now, so I probably only need one person working there. And then these last two. Did I get rid of people? I want a person just bringing me logs straight to my house. Because I'll need them, I think, to build my, where did it go? School. Okay, actually, I have enough to build a school. So, this is important because it's what gives us the ability to, oops, don't want two of them. It gives us the ability to start improving our research, which will give us the technology we need to automate things, make things go a lot smoother. As I'm creating logs, that it will slowly give me enough to create paths and expand everything. I'm going to put some houses along the way here just because this is what's going to give me more worker capacity. So one thing you can do at the school is sell paper and books, and this enables you to get research points. So every time you have paper or book sold by the school to the houses, you will get research points. The best way to do that is to start making paper. So what we will do is add paper to our list. This is probably better off placed over here soon, but for now, we will take these two people, tell them to, nope, that's not what I wanted. I want you to pick up water and bring it here. I want you to pick up water, bring it here. I don't want your silly little logs going to the water. I don't have enough resources. We'll get them a little bit faster going that way. Let's see, maybe what I'll do is actually move this here. Oops, I was going to say you can get rid of that path, but we still need it to help connect the houses there. So this is basically telling me that my library is not yet connected to my town officially. So even though it's within the circle, it's not connected. So I need a little path there, and that should take care of it. You can see that little icon went away. And another thing you can do is you can hover over the building here, and it says 4 and a little house symbol. So that says that it's connected to all 4 houses. That's one way you can check that things are connected properly. Like I've got a couple more pieces of wood here so I can make this path longer and help them go faster. Okay, so this is working. I've got a couple more workers and output's good, so I can have one person help bring them here because it's still backing up, and then I can add another person, pick up paper, and sell it to the school. And you should immediately see houses starting to buy that. So these houses are buying that paper, and I'm starting to acquire research points for it. So that's now moving. I've got a couple more people, so let's see where the holdup is. Looks like paper's going fairly fast. We're getting tons of planks. I need more regular logs. Oh, I'm out of coins and I can't produce any more people. So you can see in the bottom left, in order for me to place another person, I need population space, which I have, but I also need coins, I assume, to pay them. So I will grab some of my little friends and put them on other duties. So instead of picking up planks, I want you to start taking cotton and selling them to houses. See if that gets me coins. So different coins are acquired from different resources. So yellow coins is usually food products. Um, red coins is like materials. Blue, I think, is medicine, but I haven't made it that far. And purple, couldn't tell you. I think magic is an aspect, so maybe that. So you can see this person is selling cotton to my houses, and I'm starting to acquire red coins. But I really need yellow coins, so I'm going to take this person here and tell him to chop wheat and sell it to houses instead. So this guy will probably take a little longer, but at least we'll start getting some coins. Now, one way we can speed the process up is to have, instead of them delivering directly to houses, we can have them delivering to a market. So I can actually produce a food market right here. Remember, this question mark means that it's not connected. So I can build a line, get them connected. And now you can see it has my 4 houses linked to it. And I can save this little guy a lot of time by having him drop off to the food market. And the food market will automatically distribute any of these products to any of the houses within its range. So we will start getting yellow coins now finally, and go from there. Okay, so we've got yellow coins coming in. We've gotten red coins slowly coming in. And it looks like for getting happiness up to 8, we can boost population. So let's do that. That lets us place some more houses and gets us some more workers. That's a very good thing in this game. So I'm just going to place the line going out this way. I will definitely remodel. This is just to get things going. So we've now maxed out on our houses, and we have lots more workers to help us do things. Somewhere in here, we just upgraded or made it to town center level 2, so I will scroll out. You can see it doesn't change a lot, but when you upgrade, that green ring does get bigger. Basically, I've expanded my range there. So we need to start improving this process. So now we have 100 general research. We should have a lot more options to us. Grain processing, this will unlock the food mill. One option is to get this, and we can start sending not just raw wheat to the market, but flour. Civics, this will give us an extra couple of houses. More workers is always a good idea. Masonry will let us start turning our stone into stone brick, which is needed for a lot of other building production. Woodworking is a big one. Workshops unlock a lot of more recipes. Wagons are basically more effective people. They take the same amount of population space but can carry 4 objects at once instead of 1. So that would be a good one just to make everything work more effectively. But you can see this also has a really big required for list. So one thing that I would love to do is get the chutes going, but we need this woodworking first. So I'm trying to think what would be the next best step. Probably woodworking. Oh, but I need more coins. We are well on our way though, so I think we can. See, we've got plenty of research. We just need more coins. I think if we make the grain processing, we can make a food mill and start getting those yellow points a lot more quickly. Not a food market, a food mill. And we'll just set these up right next to each other. So it says no recipe assigned, so you can click on it, tell it to make flour. I can add another person and have them start bringing wheat here. And I'll do a couple actually, because if you look at the recipe, it's 3 flour to make a um, what's it called? Sorry, 3 wheat to make a flour. So I'll start putting them in there. Oh, why are they frozen? Drop off. Sometimes they freeze up and I haven't quite figured out why. Now we have a person creating flour. We need to drop it off to the market. And our coins should start going up much faster because now you can see the houses can buy the raw grain or the produced flour. So the fact that they're highlighted here means that this particular house has bought both recently. And we can check. So it's this house, but this grain is about to wear out, and they're going to be able to purchase another one, which must be that green right there. So coins are now coming in really fast. We got another population level. Let's go ahead and take it. We won't place the houses just yet because I want to research. So we said this woodworking is the next thing we really want. Barns are great for storage, workshops, chutes, and wagons. Let's get those going. And we can already research chutes. That's amazing. That'll be really helpful. It gives us little pop-up tips as well that you can read. Basic logistics gives us some things. Pusher, sorter, splitter. I have used these sometimes, but they're not the kind of bread and butter ones you need. You are already given a couple by default, so these logistic blocks, the grabber is the most important one, which we will be able to show you here shortly. So let's see what we can make now. All sorts of things. So a workshop will be huge. That will let us create most everything else we need. We can also throw a well closer and not have these people have to lug water so far. We can also then have a person watering the houses. That could be a good one. We need more stone. So let's resume our stone collection. In order to produce a well. Okay, so we've got a couple symbols here. So you are waiting for pickup. Oops, I just ruined your flow. So this basically means that they're full. So we probably don't need both of these people supplying water anymore. So I will just send one back home and my capacity should go up there. I think still need more stone. Let's get another person on this and speeding that process up. We'll start using a lot more stone here in the near future. The beginning is probably the most slow going, just as we are setting up our basic infrastructure. You can see these coins are now really coming in fast from all that grain. We've also used a pretty decent splotch of that grain, so as soon as we unlock it, getting a farm here would be really nice because it helps the production be more self-sustainable. So in addition to using up the wheat, it also replants the wheat rather than you can see the tree line is moving back and the wheat line is moving back as they're being used up by the little people. Okay, we've got a school, we've got a food market. General store is really good for selling resources. I do have a really good amount of planks. It might make sense to start offloading some planks. That should give us more red coins. So we can have one person selling some planks. And then, let's see what else we can place that we haven't yet. So lumber mill, food mill, workshop. That's what we were working our way towards. So I'm just going to place one randomly for now. And we can look at the recipes available to us. So we can start making cloth. Cloth can be sold directly to general stores in order to give us more red coins. We can start making more paper as well as leather or cloth in order to turn them into books. Selling books to the schoolhouse will give us even more research. And then we can start creating wood wheels using our planks. I think um, we've unlocked the chutes now, so we can start placing chutes. They only cost in the bottom left here. They cost 1 plank each. So let's show you how we can speed this process up using chutes. So if I now create a straight line chute from this tree line into the building, and let's see, maybe not quite that deep. Maybe, yeah, we can do it like that. Now I can select this person, and instead of having her deliver into the building, she can deliver to the end of that chute line, and it will just roll its way into the building. Much, much faster process, and I can do the same thing with this person. Rather than having them run so far away, they can chop that nearby tree and deliver into this end, and that will really increase how many wood is getting supplied into this lumber mill. I forgot I was also waiting to build a well, so we can place a well now. And we can, instead of having this guy lug all the way, if I can grab him, I will just send him home. Oops. Placing random objects wherever you feel. I can place this guy here. I can have him start delivering to houses. And I think I can actually have him deliver to multiple places. I think I can have him pick up, drop off there, and drop off here. So now you can see his little path. I don't need you to have 2 drop-offs there. His little path will take him to both, and I can have him watering just that one thing. And I did that by shift clicking across the 2. So I click on him, click the pickup on the water, shift click on the house, and click there in order to add both things to this process. Okay. And I can also look at all my workers here and just kind of get a little overview if I feel like, oh man, how many people do I have on each? And I've kind of forgotten. But that should help take care of the house. I might add one more because we do have a decent amount of houses until I have pipes unlocked. It does take quite a bit to get water to the buildings. You can see my water input is now falling down, so we might want one dedicated waterer. Okay, so again, we were here to make wood wheels, cloths, books. Those are things to consider. But while we're running about, let's make all this production faster. So these guys are running this wood all the way to the building. Let's instead have them just drop it off. So you just place it right in there. You can also just place it right in there. You can place it right in there. So hopefully that speeds that process up a little bit. We can do the same thing with the wheat. Just trying to pause it to get them out of the way a little bit. Now I can show you a fun little product if I can get this to insert. So I'm going to place the shoe. I'm going to go that way around the people. We've got plenty of research, so I can do this basic logistics. One of the uses of the splitter, I don't usually use this very often, but One of the uses of it is if I create this little swoop and I try to have these guys place the grain into it, they will all go into this food mill. Just kidding. They're all going to go into the food market. They don't split directions very well. They like to just follow a set path. So by adding a splitter, it will send them in a 1-to-1 ratio every other. But we don't want it to be an every other ratio. We want it to be a 3-to-1 because remember, it costs 3 wheat to make a flour. So now what it should do, it should send 3 down. This guy's saying he doesn't have a path, so what I can actually do is give him a different one. Get him out of it, and then like that. And I can give this guy a better access point. I can give it to him too. Okay, that is going better there. The next thing I'd love to get going. Oh look, another upgrade. Might as well do it. Costs us some money, but we've got that flowing in pretty well. Instead of making woodwill already, what I would love to do is start making these conveyor belts. So the conveyor belts can basically replace people like this. So if I have a person moving a finished product into a building, he needs to be on a conveyor belt, or that product needs to be on a conveyor belt. Remember, these chutes only work for raw product. So it would make a lot more sense to get a conveyor belt going when it comes to moving completed products. But I can't quite make a conveyor belt yet. It's locked. Let me see if I can research it. Sure can. So let's get that going. I think, so conveyor belts, you don't need to sell, you just need to have. So I think it will actually make the most sense to just create a separate task force, let's call it, making our conveyors a little bit farther away where we won't kind of be in their way for a while. So I'm looking around for a tree line that I probably won't pass for a while, maybe down in this corner. And we will just start anew. You can always build new stuff. So let's build a lumber mill. We can use this copse of trees for now. Keep things close. We will place well, at this point we don't need a chute. We're too close. So they can start chopping trees, dropping it off here. This mill is going to start making planks. I'm going to connect it to a workshop. And this workshop is going to start making some conveyor belts. Now, we need, for a moment, a person to drop this off in order to get there. So we have 2 planks and 2 woods to get there. So what I'm going to also do is have a little chute, the person right here, to chop directly. He's running the wrong way, so let me see if I can. He can't get up. Let's give him a little walkway that he can. That's not the right one. That he can actually walk more quickly. So we want to move this forward. And now he can walk more efficiently between the two. And this has to come that way. So now this should work together to start making us some chutes, but you can see, can add a little toggle in here so we can see the number I have. You can see it's not in my inventory yet. So what we need to do is build something like a barn. a little bit of a land height discrepancy there, so we can throw it right there. That's close enough. So we can put a little person here, picking up these and putting them into this. And as soon as that happens, as soon as he starts moving some over, I will have some conveyor belts to use, and we can start replacing. So he's saying he doesn't have space, which means we need more logs. Something happened here that got this frozen. These guys all froze. I'm not sure why, so we will just delete them. And we'll just do that little bit again. So this just placed a grabber. We don't need a grabber right now. We'll talk about grabbers in a moment. But we need, there we go. Now we're going to get logs into the building. Things will start moving again. Chop. Chop. Things are moving there. We need more logs. So basically what I'm looking at is the production here. The planks are going a lot faster than the logs right now on the input. So I can add a lot more logs and things will work a lot more smoothly. But let's see, I could just keep going. There's no harm in that. So you can send logs down. Speed that process up a little bit. Okay, now you can see we're finally making some conveyor belts and we can replace. So this guy doesn't need to be there anymore. Let's create a conveyor belt between the two. So this automatically put a conveyor belt and then put a grabber tile on it. That lets me shoot the conveyor belt into the barn. So again, we can delete this little guy. Don't need this stuff. That should produce automatically for us. I'm going to change the arrow because that's the direction we want this conveyor belt to go. We're going to put, I lied, I think. Oops, there we go. I think we do want this. And then we're going to have the conveyor belt go between the two buildings. We can add as many, basically you can add one for each line. You could even stack them vertically a little bit, which we will do in the future. But for now, we're just going to have them producing logs and conveyor belts for us. Let's see, so what's the holdup here? So now the holdup is actually the logs. And you can see it's not the input that's the problem, it's the output. So we can add an extra person or two there. Start making us even more conveyor belts. Okay, now that we have that being produced, don't have very many planks. This guy is selling too many. Let's get rid of you and let the planks start building up. In fact, let's place a barn now that we can and move the planks automatically between this building and this. So it's giving this pop-up, which basically says that we don't know, it doesn't know which item it wants us to move between these buildings here because we're producing planks and paper. I can double click on it and say, nope, I just want you to take some planks out. And I actually don't think we need this one right now. So now this will start building up our plank storage, and that will make our plank storage up there increase. Okay, so that was a long roundabout way of saying, I'm trying to select you. There you go. A long roundabout way of coming away from being able to create this wooden conveyor belt, but I don't think we need it here right now, so we will get rid of this. That will give us some resources back, and we can consider, okay, what can we do more effectively right now? We've got plenty of research, so might as well just research it all. I don't know how we got to the bottom there. Okay, so we're caught up on research. To get to the next level, we need to make wood wheels and stone bricks. And like I said, I've not made it very far, so I haven't made it to that yet. But let's see what we can improve on here now that we have some basic materials being produced. We've got a huge flow of stone in, lots of wooden planks, and these conveyor belts, which will make things way, way, way more effective. So I think the first step is to start producing stone brick. So I think we might want to use this copse over here. This is really central in our circle right now, and I feel like the space could very well be used for something else better. So I think I might want to make a more permanent stone mill somewhere else. And I was going to say we can put it elsewhere, but oh yeah, I don't remember seeing any elsewhere. So yeah, I think let's use this space here. Looks like this might be a little bit of an uphill. The one downside to hills is that you can use conveyors uphill. So the conveyor belt that I have kind of between the buildings, not the chutes that just roll raw product. Those have to go downhill. Now, I do think there's a terrain tool, but I've not played with it. So I'm actually not sure how to even access it. Terrain flattened down for 5 red coin. Maybe we just do a couple right by the rock, just to have enough space to build our building. Okay, so what we want in order to start a little stone production is 1, people to collect the stone, and we're going to have them put it into chutes as well as a stonemason. So we'll start with the stonemason, give them the recipe of making stone brick, and then we will also put a barn just a little click away. Now I want the barn to store some stone brick and stone, because those will let me do more crafting. Let's see, do stone there and stone brick there. So that will let me do more crafting, and I don't want it to take them out for other things. I just want it to store forever. But I wouldn't mind selling some of the stone brick to the general market, because remember that will contribute to happiness. So we've got lots of space for streets here. Get that connected. Now you can see it's linked to 8 houses, now that it's within my sphere and has a road. So we can start putting people, and I can have, let's see, a raw chute maybe going this way. That way another person can chop stone. Yes, there is an endpoint. Okay, never mind. We will just have a person doing stone for this. Maybe another person back here to keep the process fast. And then what I will do is I will make a chute from a different area into the barn, because I also want raw stone to be stored. So I want raw stone to be stored in here, but then I also want to start making stone bricks. And I can how did I manage to put a person there? You can go away. Okay. I want a conveyor belt between these two buildings to bring all of my stone into my barn. And then once that 50 stone builds up into my input, it will allow me to start selling stone into the general store. Okay, so that should start building up there, as well as giving us some more stone. Stone goes fast, so I think it makes sense to increase our storage on all of this. And I think that's a pretty decent little stone system for now. We've got stone being stored up and stone being produced. The production rate looks a little bit slow. Let's add another couple people and see if we can speed that up. See if I can kind of match the speed at which the workers are working. That drops down to 13. Okay, it looks like 3 people inside the building will match the input rate. Let's see if that holds true for a while. And then the other thing we need to produce in order to get to another tech level is the wood wheel. So I haven't figured out too much about what the wood wheels actually get us. However, they they can be sold. So what we will do is we will add a workshop right here in front of our barn that's holding all of our little planks, and we can have it give planks into the workshop and start outputting wood wheels. And we can actually also tell it to bring the wood wheels back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter now. I'm going to put a plank filter on, a wood wheel filter on. This basically says you can't replace these objects with anything else. And then add a second of each, I think. And then what I want to do is I want to make one output only of each. Just kidding. Let's see, did I do that right? So these wood wheels will stay for crafting. These wood wheels will be able to be sold once I have them connected to something else. These planks will not continue to increase in numbers, but they should go down as people take them out. So I want that to happen. That way, once it runs out, let's see, hold on. You want to take the filter off? Yeah, this is output only. So once this runs out, I can change it to wood wheels, and that can start building up as well. I'm just going to watch this for a second so that I don't forget, because I can get a little ADHD sometimes. Okay, so now that we're out of planks, oh, we were transferring. I understand now. I was really confused for a second. There we go. Okay, we've got our 100 planks, our wood wheels. Now we've got these wood wheels will build up. These wood wheels will be able to come out. Now, where do we want them to come out to? To the general store. So the extra wood wheels can go to the general store. Now, in order to send a conveyor from the two, it will destroy, let me pause for a second, it will actually destroy the walkway. We don't want to do it that way. We want to add the conveyor belt up in the air. And now it will send the wood wheels, the extra wood wheels, from I wanted it from the storage, but that's okay. That's not the end of the world. It can send some to storage and some to the general store. That's not a big deal. And that will start selling wood wheels. Okay. In the process, we have made the next tech level. The big thing here is forest, forestry, and fluid pipes. So we will research as many of those as we can afford right now. Farming would be great. Kitchen comes after that. Fluid pipes would be good. That can get rid of our concerns about water. Forestry would be amazing. We can take care of some of the people building up things there. And farming while we can afford it. So, okay, one thing at a time. This looks good. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to automate how people take bricks, but you can automate how you take wood. So, see, this is way not effective anymore. Let's add a forester. So just like how I mentioned, a farm will replant trees. So too can a forester. I don't need any of these people anymore. This forester will now directly produce. Oops, doesn't need to be these. It can just be shoots. Will directly produce wood and send it along into my lumber mill. So I can also delete all of these. One of the great things about this is you can delete things and it doesn't, like, it gives you back your materials. So by deleting that, I actually got the materials back. So now this is working the exact same way, but I need a single person to do the same amount of work as those 5, so I can actually increase the people there. I can decrease the people here because this is already pretty much full up, and I probably don't need to spend a lot of people working on that. We could do the same thing over here. See, we've almost burned out this copse of trees. That's honestly kind of what I wanted to do. Okay, so we've got a backup of people. That tells me, let's see, we can kind of delete. Oops, didn't mean to delete them. I wanted to delete the people. I was gonna say we can kind of delete the people and be left with maybe only one single person doing the work since it's filled up. Alright, so next let's get the copse of trees figured out. Let's build a more effective lumber situation. So let's put a forester. We're going to tuck it all the way back in the trees. All the blue highlighted ones are the ones that the forester can effectively harvest. So we're going to tuck it back as far as we can. And we're going to have it feeding directly into a lumber mill. Actually, I'm going to move this a little bit to the side. We do want it feeding directly into a lumber mill. But we want kind of think paper. No, that's fine. We want it to do both. No, we want it to do planks and fluid pipes. No, we don't sell fluid pipes. We want it to be planks and paper. So, okay, see, I put one of these little chutes, but it wasn't grabbing anything. So I need to put a grabber on top of it. And it'll immediately start flowing the wood. Now, I want it to go as fast as it can, so I'm going to put another one. I don't want it to be one of those, though. I want it to be a chute. We gotta put another grabber on top. And start doing that. Okay. So you are going to make planks and paper. I want to put a barn to store. Actually, what do I want? Let me remind myself. Okay, over here, we've got a barn full of conveyor belts, and we're all filled up here basically, so everything's frozen. Oh, because I forgot to put a direct wood axis in. Good thing I came over and checked. That would have been sad once we eventually left. So now we've got that going in. I want this to actually also make... My cat just came and asked for kisses, so... You can tell I'm still figuring this out. I want to make fluid pipes from the lumber mill. Got it. Lumber mill makes fluid pipes. So we can add another thing here, fluid pipes, and send that just to its own barn. And give it its own little... It looks like this is going to be a downhill. We want to add, oops, a little plank for it. And then tell it to store fluid pipes. Now fluid pipes will start rolling in there. Okay, so we've got fluid pipes going. We've got planks up here. Sorry, fluid pipes. And lots of conveyors. We definitely don't need any more conveyors. I wouldn't mind taking some... Yeah, okay. Back to our little new production here. So we are making planks and paper. We want to put the planks directly into the barn. And then we want to start creating a more wood storage situation. That'll be planks. This will be wood. I'm not sure what I want to use on the others yet, so I'm going to tell it not to put anything in it until I decide, but I will increase the storage capabilities in order to let it build up planks and wood more effectively. Let's see, we gotta give it a way to get wood, of course. So put a grabber on that, and wood will start flowing. We can also start expanding because that can go a lot faster than this. Just like this one's going fast. Okay. I can add a couple more people on that. What do you two funny people doing? Things. Okay. So now I have paper going. I can have a school right in front to receive the paper. Or we can start thinking about making books. So in order to make books, you need leather. In order to make leather, you need a pasture, which means you probably need a farmland with grain. So it probably doesn't make sense to do that here. So instead, let's move our library. Sorry, not our library, our school. Right here. Yes, we will do this in order to start receiving said paper. That'll go straight into the school. And now, in order to make this work, it needs a water supply. And we have pipes. So now we can finally start doing things with pipes. So I'm going to put a couple wells here. And actually I'll add a couple more. Because I want some to go to the houses and some to go to like my farmlands. So to get to the pipe layer, you can click here or quick action G. And I know I have pipes being produced, so let's see how many we've got. 46. Okay. Now I want it to go to this building first, as it's the one creating the paper and outputting to the library. So let's put my pipes out here, and then just connect it directly to the library, and that should start filling in and eventually become a solid blue as it fills. Perfect. And these will probably go to my houses, but I actually will want to move my houses pretty soon. So I'm going to do that and just let them get water the way they're getting water currently. Okay, so let's see about getting rid of this little network here. So we had paper and planks coming out. We don't need this to keep going. These people who are still contributing to it, I appreciate your hard work, but we don't need you to anymore. Delete all that. We can let it output our paper. This looks like we're selling so much paper we don't even need it anymore. So delete this person, delete this person, and delete this building. That's all redundant now, so we don't need that. What we did, and you can see we didn't lose the resources, it just came to a different part. We can also delete these trees just since they're kind of in the way. Okay, now what we forgot about was wheels. So let's see, can we start producing wheels at this place? Nope, that's the wrong thing. We need a workshop. What we can actually just do is instead move this workshop right here. And I think that's what we're going to fill up here is wheels. So this should still be trying to produce wheels. I'm going to give it another input of planks so that I can make one planks an input only and one planks can be stored out of. That doesn't make sense. So we need to give it a input of planks. Now planks are already a produced thing, so they need a conveyor belt. Oops, what did I just grab? I don't know. They need a conveyor belt and not a chute. And now let's look at the system. So we've got planks going in to make wheels. We don't have very many yet, so let's see. It's because we're still trying to store up 150. So I'm actually going to change that. I don't need that to be input only just yet. Would like it to be at some point, but until that fills up faster, you don't need it to be. And one way we can do that, now that we have unlimited water, is by increasing the workers on this. And that should start moving a lot more quickly. See how it's handling the output. Yeah, so this is our slowdown right now, so that's fine. Okay, so now that it's making the wheels, we need to bring it back into the barn. So what we can do is send it to the planks on the bottom level, and pick out the wheels on the top level. Ta-da! We've got a more effective wheel production now. We've got some fluid pipes, conveyor belts, and I think that should be good in terms of our wood production for right now. We can delete this stuff, clear up this land. Who's carrying water? You're carrying water to houses. Okay. We don't need people to carry houses right now. So let's just go ahead and send you home. Where's this other person? You. Okay. So something I haven't. What's this? Oh, we were selling that. That's what we forgot. Okay. So since something else is going here right now, let us move this right there. And add a little conveyor. Tell it to sell wheels. And now that we've got enough planks, we can make there you go. Yeah, okay, that's what we want. So we're selling wheels. Perfect. Okay, what can we do better? So something I haven't showed you yet is that when you double click on a house, it will show you all the different things that make it happy. And happiness is what really will start driving this town into a more improved era. So now that I kind of have some basic resources being made more effectively, I think our next focus is really making sure this happiness is the way we want it to be. So there's a series of categories that give it happiness, making sure each of the houses have water, basic food, hardware, clothing, basic medicine, education, and gourmet. So you can click on it to see more information. So water is simply, do you have a person delivering water from a well, or do you have pipes going to that house? So once we kind of set up our neighborhood, then we can make sure we pipe water in. Another thing is basic food. So we have this food market right here selling us what should be wheat and flour, but it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of wheat. This is probably attributed to the fact that there's just so little now. Yeah, these guys are now even running to a different land. So I think one thing we can do to improve is start giving them more food. You can see there's up to 5 happiness points based on food. So if we give it flour and grain, that's only 2 of 5. We have to give it some more variation. So maybe we look for other raw products or make a farm for them. Or if we did say have a apple, we could give it raw apple and juice, and that would account for 2. Some things give more points, but they are naturally more difficult to make as a result. So just to go down the list here, hardware, I can actually be selling planks. So maybe I add a conveyor to the general store to sell planks. That's an easy one that I can get an extra point really quick. Clothing, I can start selling cloth, making shirts, etc. Haven't made it to medicine yet. Education, I've been talking about books, that's definitely an option. And then gourmet is just to make specialized food. So let's do this. An easy point right now that we could do is just sending a little conveyor with planks on it. And that will start selling planks. We really need to increase this production though. Things are slowing down. It's like we're not getting enough trees. Is that what's happening here? see what happens if we just increase this a little bit. Yep, that's exactly it. We just weren't creating enough logs. So we can up that. That's easy. Yep, and that should help us shunt some of that wood into planks. Okay, so we were talking about maybe making a little farm. So given our range, space on the left would be a really good farm because there is wheat up there, but there's also just a lot of empty space. And I could see lots of things being beneficial there. I think, though, I might just want to reuse this space a little bit more effectively. So let's get rid of these resources. And something you can do is you can actually just replant grain. It costs money per tile, but you can do this. And so you see how it's like highlighting green around these areas. I'm still learning the details here, but this basically tells me that these tiles have a special affinity for grain, and I think that means that it will yield more and or grow faster on those tiles. So I want to plant in that area to start. And then we can plant down my first farm of the game. And building is blocked by these people, so we can delete them. Try again. And we want to try to keep as much of that affinity within the circle as we can. And I have not very much money, so let's just leave it at that for now. But we can say we need water supply, we need fertilizer, and we need grain. And it'll start producing grain. So the next thing to do is get rid of these people, get rid of all this, because we'll just be replanting basically, moving it around. So we can move this food market. Make a quick little chute into here. Now this is gonna go fast. Remember, we need a lot of wheat here. So maybe we want to give it enough for 2. And maybe even before we do that, before we dig it too high, want to give it a little grabber. Basically, it'll just make sure we get the material actually out of the building. And maybe do it again. Just make sure there's tons of wheat flowing into the food mill to make us some flour. And then we do want a conveyor going into our food market, as well as, I said conveyor, but I meant chute. So again, now we have raw wheat being sold, raw being converted to flour, and then that being sold. And this just says I need a footpath. Okay, so I don't need this person anymore. So now the game is running. We've opened up a little bit more space here as well. I think, looking at my circle, trying to think where I want my neighborhood to be set up, because that might be the next step, is just to get the neighborhood set up. Storage here looks like it's maxed with all the stone, so we can tell these people to go away finally. They are probably wondering why they're still here. Same with this path doesn't need to be here anymore, because I have people or I have pipes to convert. This poor guy is still trying to sell cotton, so I think the next step will be selling cotton. But before that, I want to try to think about where I want these people to go. No, I don't. I lied. We're going to look at this system. So we're doing a better job with food and grain. And actually, there's one other thing. Rather than double clicking on a house to see what that one house is purchasing, you can double click on a shop to see how effectively you're supplying something. So flour is doing really well, pretty much maxed out, but I can supply a lot more grain to this. So I can up my production of grain, and or I can maybe consider, let's see if that helped. Still 75, 88. See if it goes up one more tick. Yeah. Okay. So that fixed the supply. Basically, it's saying, while I can sell more of these to make more money and coins, I'm maxed out on how much happiness those can give me. But I have all these other things that can do a lot better. While we're looking at that, let's look at my general store. I can give it a lot more cotton, but remember we only have a person directly giving cotton, so that is a good reason for that. But my other 3 hardware objects are maxed out, so I don't have to increase my supply to those at all. So we could just go to the next category, or keep working in food. Hardware's maxed out, cotton is the clothing one. But we can come back to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. We wanted to map out our housing location. So within the circle, not too close. I mean, we've got all this cotton right here. I think it would make a lot of sense to turn either this or this into a cotton farm. Since it's here, the affinity's here. So I don't want to usually I like to build my houses close to my town center, but I think I need to. I feel like this might be a good open space. So I might go in here and delete more of these trees. And it looks pretty flat, so I might not need to do too much to it. Let's see how that can go. So let's move some housing. Let's see. Something else I've learned is that you put paths up towards your farm. It's supposed to help the happiness, but I haven't noticed an increase in production yet. I used to see a little smiley face somewhere along the production, but I've lost it. I don't know where it's supposed to be showing up anymore. So maybe we'll do that just to have enough path. And then let's see, I don't want to infringe too much on this farm's land in case I feel like expanding it further. So maybe we try that. See, I've got plenty more houses that I can place. So let's see how the layout works like this. That lines up with our current line very well. That might be worth it. Just placing all the houses that we can afford. And then we will move the rest. That's an upgraded house, that is. And just make a couple lines of housing. How's that? 5, 10, 14, that looks right. Make sure we always give them road access. And then since I now am going to put another row of houses right here. I think I want to get rid of just a couple more trees. That should do it. Three, 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 three. Okay. That should be okay for now. Don't think I need all of that like that. Now that I know that's exactly where my houses are going to go, I'm going to start placing these wells. So let's move these over here just to keep them closer. Click. There we go. Let's keep them closer to my housing district. And let's get these pipes placed. See, I think I want to go down Main Road and to each house here. And then down the next main road and to each house here. I want to keep it consistent because of OCD. And we will have that ready for when the next houses come in. And then I just have to add the little circle, and that should immediately start feeding the house as soon as it's placed, if I understand correctly. I've actually never done it that way before, but I think that should be how that works. And that made a big difference, getting all those houses water, got us up another population level, and 4 more houses to place. So actually we can test that theory about the pipes right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go underwater, check the pipes. You can actually just double click on it and see if the water's being supplied. It says no. That says 1 out of 1. That's a 0 to 1. So maybe it doesn't work that way. And that's okay. We can just do it fresh. I won't do it that way next time. Now let's double check. Now we have water. Okay. That's an easy enough fix. Okay, what is next on our improvement list? So, an upgrade is ready. Let's do that while it's here. And then we've got water, basic food, hardware. I think food is our next big one. We've got carrots out here. How big is our town hall radius? We've got carrots not very far away now. We've made it pretty close. Could probably just destroy more of the trees to get to it. That would be an easy one. Apples over there. We could always just make our own farm. Could plant our own things. That wouldn't be terribly difficult. It would take up some money, but we've got a decent influx right now. Maybe we do a little bit of both. We have a raft. We could have a worker. I've actually never used rafts before, to be honest, but we have one. We could easily start to collect the apples right here. Now, apples don't last very long, so I think it might make the most sense to plant some more. And then, while you can't farm apples, you can treat them like trees. Oh, I'm out of money. That probably planted a little bit too liberally there. You can treat it like trees though, so you can do a little forester to harvest these apples, just the way you would wood. And then I can have it put, let's see, I want to give it as as much land as possible, just in case we want to expand or put anything else there. I can have it deliver to, see, how does this work? I think I can have it delivered to like a barn that's right over the water edge. Can't afford. What do I need? More planks. I can just wait a second until I get enough planks. 18. Almost there. Give it a second. We are selling too many planks. That's what's happening. Or we're just not making enough. Okay. This, I need to turn the plank grabber off for a second and control click that, let that build up. That should start going up now. 9, 10, 11. Yep. You are working at max output there. Planks are just not happening fast enough. So we are going, it looks like putting all of our use into water, or, sorry, into, what's it called? Paper. Man, that was a struggle. Let's come to my little forestry over here. How are we on the barns? Full barn there, full barn there. Let's just give it one more barn and tell it just to give me planks. Just to keep up with things. So we have to give it a little bit of a ledge. Looks like that they're at a height difference. So we can do something like that. Make sure it's at the base level for that. Planks, please. Overshot. Okay, we will give it some planks. And hopefully we can get that going again. That should help because that won't be sold. Let that build up a little bit, and then we can try to remember to reopen the plank selling. Now, we were over here trying to figure out how to make this apple farm a reality. So we want to, nope, don't need water yet. Well, we will, but we're going to build a barn first. I think I can put it over the water's edge. And I think I can have it, let's see, make a little, not a food market, make a, oh, we haven't researched kitchen yet. There we go, now we have. I think I can put a little kitchen here. And I can tell it to make apple juice. We can send apples and apple juice right along the way. So we will give a straight shot. This one actually has to be curved. So we will give a straight shot of apples into the barn. And then we will give a straight shot of apple juice into the barn from, no, actually we don't need to. We'll come back to Y in a minute. Anything else we can make with apple? We can make jam if we build some sugar. That should be an easy one. Then we will build a conveyor with apple jam. Oh, I didn't add a conveyor, I added a grabber. Apple jam. Do one more. More apple jam. I don't need it to be apple juice, I need it to be apple jam. One thing at a time. Okay, so we will send some apples to the barn to grab on this. Some apples to the barn. Some apples to the kitchen to make juice. Probably some extra to the kitchen. Let's see, we're going to be giving 4 apples to jam, 2 apples to juice, so that's 6 apples getting into the kitchen for every apple that we want to be into the barn. So we probably really want to increase this speed. It looks like we might have to go on the bank there a little bit. So I want to flatten this terrain just a smidgen, but I don't have to. So I'm trying to build on top, and what it was trying to do was lower. So I'm going to shift click. That should help keep it at the same level. And of course it's going up, so that's not working. I don't know why, I've always had a problem with getting this to move the way I want it to. It's like trying to go up a level. I don't understand why. So if anyone's ever played this game and knows how to stop that from happening, even when I'm doing control click, I would love to know. Because it's just trying to go up. I just want it to go over. So we'll have to do this manually. It's not the end of the world, it's just takes a little bit longer. I like the speed that it sometimes lets me go at. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 apples into the kitchen for every 1 to the barn. So I gotta do 2 more on top. So basically, I think by having each one of these, it will alternate basically who it sends, which it sends out of. We're paused, that's why it's not going. Okay. So now this should be making apple juice. I don't have sugar yet, so we'll work on that. But one step at a time. I want another barn just on this side, in the water a little bit. I think what I could do then is send this to pick up everything and drop it off. And I can hold until full. And I will have a couple rafts doing this. Okay. These work. There we go. So pick up, drop off, hold until full, hold until full, hold until full. Okay, I think that should work. Hmm, got it. Might make more sense to make this more custom, so let's delete this. It's taking its sweet little time there, so let's give this raft a specific job. Take the apples here, and this one we will delete, and then we will give this one a specific job of taking the jam here, and this one we will delete. There we go, struggling. Okay, now you can't make jam yet, so that's okay. I need sugar, so I've got some money again. Let's plant some sugar. I think sugar needs a separate farm. I think it needs to be an actual farm. Make a little sugar farm. And I wouldn't mind going up the hill a little bit as long as those are still highlighted, meaning they're being used. And I want it to be sugar. And now as long as I stay at the same level, can use the shoots. Shoots are gravity dependent, so as long as I'm at the same level, I can send the shoots into the kitchen, but I cannot guarantee that I will be staying on the same level. So I think it will make more sense just to use conveyor belt, and I don't have to worry about if it's higher. And in fact, it is. So yeah, I was trying to go up way too high. I don't think it needed to do that again. So we will custom. Lost a couple shoots along the way. Maybe just like that. Now we work. No, you'll let me place one, but you won't let me place all of them. So we will just do it one at a time. So that's going much more effectively. Okay. So it looks like we've got rollers, and I just don't think we're producing yet because these are still growing, presumably. One thing we can do, try to speed this process up, we can give these guys some water. So taking it from the same pipe, let's water this farm and water this farm. And that might help things grow a little faster. I'd also have more money, so let's plant even more sugar. Just to try to make sure we're making any sugar whatsoever. Okay, should start soon. We'll come back and double check on that. Let's make sure we can actually send this out to production. So we want to make a little food market and tavern. Right here. Connect it with this road. And even move this one down just to keep things consistent. And so we want apples to go across to here along with the juice. and then the jam will be able to start coming out of there. So one, here's this neat thing. So we can actually pipe the apple juice being produced here directly into the store to start selling apple juice finally. And now we can make a conveyor of the apples themselves. Actually, that will be way slower. Let's make a pipe. Shoot. Start selling apples. That was a really long, roundabout way of producing some food for these houses, but I think that should make them much happier. So we've got grain and flour still going good, apples at 100%, scroll down again, apple juice at 100%. I'd love to keep that going. That's basic food. The apple jam will contribute to this gourmet. We're just waiting on that sugar. Looks like it's finally being produced now, so we can start making that. Oh, coal deposit, that's perfect because this actually needs a source of fire. So, didn't even think of that, but that worked out really well, that we've got coal so close. Oops, that's not helpful. We'll have a person producing coal there, person producing coal there, and that should be more than enough because the coal lasts a long time. Yeah, in fact, we don't even need 2 people, it looks like. I will get rid of 1. And we will finally start making some jam. Okay, so now we need 1 more fruit from the various food markets. The tavern should slowly start to show apple jam. Oh, but you know what? We should give it a conveyor belt so that it actually can. That could help. Apple jam. And once that connects, hopefully then the special food production will help. I don't know what this does. So we got a town specialty commerce, doubles the speed in which items are consumed by houses. This allows for much more rapid coin earning. So that's because I hit town level 4. I've only ever used, like, I think foresting or maybe processing before. So we can just kind of see where that takes us. But going back to the sources here. So now that things are being consumed more quickly, we actually need to increase our flour. And then we still need a 5th basic food. So let's go check out our flour. See if that's something we can increase. So yeah, we can increase our output a little bit. Oh, you know what? We don't have water coming here yet, so we can do that too. Like we've got plenty coming from this house system, so that shouldn't be very difficult to add another one. Yeah, okay, so that's what it is. We're out of grain, so we can plant some more. We just want to keep it within the little square of this for now. The next thing we can start doing is producing some fertilizer and giving more opportunity for the farms to grow, but for that we need animals. And I want to just make sure we get one more food product to the stores here. This could work very well. That's nice and near to where we already have a system. It wouldn't be too long to grow any further. That's obviously way out there. Yeah, I think this might be our best bet of an extra food without adding more to our systems. Look at that, we've got plenty of sugar. Grain needs to go up now. I got distracted once again. Can add maybe one more shoot of grain. That might help keep things more even. And then it's just a matter of getting this stuff fertilized. So we want to add a farm, get some animals, get some fertilizer, get that going to improve the wheat growth. Got plenty of apples on this tree, so we can increase production there. Yeah, okay, green's flowing better now. Apples can go way up, but apple juice is good. Let's increase the raw apples. We might just be slowed down by the rafts. More than anything. My grabber not going at full? Yeah, not going at full. This one? No. Let's increase the apples there. Let's see if that makes a difference. So the tavern is not selling nearly enough apple jam. We can see if we can increase it at all. Apples are doing better, but could still go more. I've got lots of money again, so let's plant some more apples. And just make sure we are making as much opportunity as we can on this. I can put one more row, I think. Just really trying to increase how many raw apples we can get out for now. Yeah, it might make sense just to get one more. You know what? I spent all this time setting up this system. It might make more sense to stop this altogether. Okay, new idea. This is like 6 tiles. I don't know what made me think sending it this way was the best idea. Something did, apparently. But what I'm gonna do, I think when I delete this, I've got 157 apples in storage. I think when I delete this, it should stay in storage. Let's do a quick save as real quick. So let's just call it early game 1 because I'm not fancy. And I think when I delete this full of apples, it will go into my town storage. Yep, so we still got plenty of apples there. They must all be in here. Perfect. So what we're going to do, we are just going to put a quick food market right here with, this is a temporary solution with my apples. Just to get those sold as quickly as possible. And that way I can stop being so silly. And just pipe this directly across the water. Because this is close enough that I don't see any reason why I couldn't just do that. And of course now we're out of apples, and I don't think, I feel like I won't need to if I have it flowing directly in it in this long of a pipe, I don't think I'll need all three of these, but I don't want to waste these poor little apples, so let's see real quick if I can create like a merge. Let it create a merge for me. Come on, show me how you work. Yeah, okay. Create a merge. 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 Thank you. Now can you flow in? There we go. Okay, get rid of those real quick. And we just want that lowest level now, I think. Silly, silly, silly. Well, it's a learning experience, right? I learned today that there's no reason to use rafts across such a small, really, really small. One apple the wrong way. I didn't expect that. Across a really small piece of water. Like it's just unnecessary. A simple. Yes, it does have a support block. I would love to put one down. Okay. Okay. Can we just put that there? Great. I love that there's one post and no others. Okay. But now we can do the same thing with jams and just send them directly in that way. Nope. So once this guy can handle making some more apples, then I feel like he will do so. Kitchen needs more apples. This needs more apples. So what I need here is to figure out how to get more tree planter. I don't think I have that unlocked yet with research. Or any way to get to it just yet. But I think my best bet is probably getting fertilizer over there. What were we working on? Well, okay. See, don't need that anymore. That's all it took, just a couple minutes. Got rid of all those apples. Okie dokie. So now, of course, we're down just 2 points again because we lost production. We used up all those apples so quickly. My mistake. Learning experience. I would like to get some fertilizer back into these guys, so maybe we can do our first pasture, and maybe that can be the fertilizer that we need. I don't know if this is going to be enough to feed a bunch of cows, but we can try. So let's build a little farm. Right there. Give it its food mill. And we're just going to make animal feed out of it. And then that can go into an animal pasture that we will research. Let's see. I think I want... That shouldn't be too bad. And really, I just want a bunch of fertilizer. Oh, I don't need anything fancy. Although I guess if we did do something fancy, it would probably count as food. Let's see, eggs. We could do bread, eggs. Oh yeah, I was gonna do fish, wasn't I? Chicken. Milk wouldn't be so bad. Where was that fish bubble? Right here. That could be fun. That's within the circle. Maybe we'll try to come back to that. Let's circle back. Okay. So instead, let's see what animal can give us fertilizer and food. Milk. Let's do that. You can pipe milk in easy too. Okay. So we're going to... Nope, wrong way. Send the grain into the machine here. There it is. That was... Oh, it's gotta be higher. This is the problem with working on uneven terrain. So start doing that. We will send food in. Let's pipe some water across. And then we will also pipe some milk into the place here. Oh, looks like we have some apples growing up again. That's nice. Yeah, I definitely do think we want another apple spout now that I think about it. Just considering how quickly those ones filled up. Why will it just not stay? Very quite frustrating if anyone knows the answer. Would love to hear it. And I'm gonna turn you so that I don't have to deal with the height thing anymore. You can just map your own way down. Okay, that's apples, that's apple jam. And then we are working on milk. The milk can go higher. Juice can still go higher. Um, let's see, so we can give you another input here. Did I build a, yeah, I did, okay. Give you more food here. So gives food faster. Hopefully that gives milk a little bit faster. Can also increase the production here. That should produce more milk, hopefully. Food input is what's slow. Food input is still the slow one. Food input is still the slow one. Okay. Milk is up to 44.50. Okay, we're at least moving in the right direction now. Okay, so that's good there. And then we just need a way to get the manure back. So let's see. Easy one for this. It's just to reverse it. And go up a level. Yeah, not quite sure why you aren't just going up a level. But we can fix that. We just want it to go in. We want it to give fertilizer. And then we want to give fertilizer to both of these as well. We prefer to do it up on the ground. It looks like this needs to go up again. It's not mapping me automatically very well. That makes me sad. See, I think to get it over this, we basically need to go up one, and then maybe scaffolding one. That's at least how you have to do it with people, but it really doesn't have to be quite so high. So maybe instead of the scaffolding, you can just do another post there. Yeah, there, that should be good. I just need it at that height. And the perception's a little off. I can't quite tell if that's enough. Maybe? Down. Okay, so we don't need that high. There we go. Yeah, there. That was really hard for you. Okay. And then I want it to stay at least love it to stay high so that I can get good. I can filter it across. Now you're working. because that way if I want to expand these farms, which I probably will, I don't have to worry about planting underneath, which I can do. Okay, so now add some fertilizer, keep that going, and then since these are at different heights, I can either add a splitter or a pusher. I think it might make more sense to do it like that, and then add I think a pusher. So pusher will redirect items off a belt or chute if there's space. Splitter will alternate. That's probably the best option. Alternate based on space. Yep. Now we've got fertilizer going. This one still needs water. These two. This one doesn't even need water. Got it. I added that pipe for no reason. Silly, silly. So hopefully that'll keep those producing fast enough. So these are looking good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with that milk, great. Apple jam could be higher, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. Check on our general stores. Stone brick, wood wheel, and planks could go way up. What happened? Oh, that's because I never turned wood planks up. So why can wood... These are full. This can just produce faster. That should help with the wood wheels. And planks for that matter. That should help our happiness spike up a lot more. Getting that taken care of. Stone brick can go up a lot more too. Ah, these guys are really struggling to get brick in here. Okay, I can help. So send that right there. Pause, please. And then you can send stone in there, and you can send that stone in there. That should speed things up a little bit at least. Because input was slowing down so much, I think. Can you drop this one? I can get you a faster route. Let's see. That should help. Stone brick should start coming up. Perfect. Okay. So now we've got more covered. Really, the only thing that could still improve is apples. But with the fertilizer, that's probably as good as it can get until I can get tree planters. Basically, I think what that does is just replant things. But I can fill in the spaces here a little bit. Give it a little bit more supply. We definitely don't need... I don't think we'll need any more sugar. That looks like it's going to be plenty, so... probably use more wheat, though. Since we've got so much money. Let's make sure this is all filled in. Might get rid of those trees to help fill in too. I can also shoot some of that fertilizer into a barn, and then you can plant farm tiles. That will help the production greatly. I probably don't need that much. Let that build up for a few minutes. Okay, where are we lacking? Water. clothing, basic medicine, and education. So clothing options go back to pure cotton and cloth. Those can happen kind of from the same cotton farm area. Shirts, same thing, from having cloth. So we can work on that. Just as a reminder, we can let's do a nice big cotton farm. A lot of cotton here. See how big this secondary spot is. So the spot is pretty big, and it's a little further away from this process. So I think I like this better for the cotton farm. So I think I might do stop this silly little worker. We will help you out here soon enough. We're going to plant a farm. Try to optimize on as much as what's already grown here as possible. That's going to get rid of one. That'll get rid of one. I don't think I can encompass quite all of them. So let's do it like that. Alright, so we've got a cotton farm here. We will absolutely put down some more cotton plants. And let those start growing as we're figuring this shindig out. So we want to okay, our end goal, we wanted to place a, what was it, a school? School? Is that what accepts cotton? No, accepts paper. Silly, silly, silly. Must be a general market. So we want a general store nearby. Worst case, we can use this one. So that can take cotton. We also want a workshop, I think, to make cloth from this cotton. So this is the one that's going to want to be the closest, just to kind of push that cotton in super, super fast. Okay. So now we're going to have cotton becoming cloth. That cloth and cotton both can be sold to the general store. I think what we want to do here is move this something like that. And we can have one conveyor sending cloth and one pipe sending cotton. I'm going to make sure we get this path drawn up. And then we also want to start making some shirts. I don't think I have the tailor unlocked, but I think it's in my research. I'll come back to that. I just wanted to get that going. And then we can start making shirts. So throw a tailor on here. And then the shirts can come back and be sold as well. So we'll give that a few minutes to get going. And it looks like we're gonna need a lot more cotton for this, so we can plant some. We've got plenty of money. And let's pipe in some water. Next thing it would need is fertilizer, but we don't have a good way of getting fertilizer over there. Lots of fertilizer here now, so we can start fertilizing. Sugar looks fine. I think I'm more worried about grain. So looks like we'll be a little bit limited in where we plant because some of these are angled. So let's just make sure I'm checking all the spots. I think it's probably just this highlighted area. But we'll farm plot what we can. This stuff could really use some as well. Oh, ran out of fertilizer. Since we added that, I might as well add some grain. It was making me sad that that one little piece of grain was left out. Get this going. Oh, that's right, we're out of fertilizer. Okay. We will keep filling that in when we can. How are other little shipments doing? We can use way more cotton, cloth, and shirts. So this is probably the backup here. Because we're doing so much, I want to make sure we get these fertilized first. Okay, that should help with cotton. Cotton's doing great. Now let's get cloth up to speed. Cloth is still probably at 50. Shirts are probably at 50. So we can probably max out both of these. And then just pop this up an extra row. Just to make sure the slowdown isn't in the distribution of cotton. When that happens, it usually just means it's on the wrong level. Yeah, we're processing as much cotton as we can. So let's keep adding the farm tiles. Let this grow up as quickly as possible. Oops, that was a waste. Alright, we're doing so much better. We've got so much money. Looks like really we just want to make sure we're getting... These are full. This makes me think the slowdown is just in delivery. If that's the case, we can make this much faster. Hard to say. 32. No, maybe just in how many are there. Well, I think we're getting really close to where I left off. I think can check this stuff out real quick. Apple juice could still go better until we get a way to make those trees grow faster. We're probably maxed out. Apple jam, same thing, could probably go better, but till we get, oh well, we could at least increase that. That should help with both of those, for that matter. And then general store, looking a lot better. Stone brick could still go up. That tells me we probably are moved a little bit further away. Sure enough, we are. Give you a closer range right there. Give you a closer range right there. Give you a closer range right there. Alright. We're almost done here. Basic food gives me a slot up to 6 now, which tells me that some of our house is upgraded. Hardware is kind of going back and forth. Clothing's finally up to 3. Maybe 2 to 3 depending on the house. So cotton probably needs to regenerate a little bit quicker. We don't have anything to do medicine yet. Education, we could do book, that would help. And clothing, we could pop up to something like leather. We could do leather, little leather factory, book hut, and then call it from there. Let me just finish fertilizing this stuff. That should help it grow a lot faster. Okay. Let's see, we want to do another farm if we're going to do leather. Maybe a carrot farm up there? Maybe a carrot farm up here? Or we could piggyback off of this, but it seems to be struggling in its output here. Oh, no, that's because we paused. Silly, silly, silly me. Actually, well, 2.5. Okay, let's do this. Let's make a leather farm. And we'll go from there. Then we'll end it there, I mean. This is still way in our range, so we will use this to create our farm. Move it into a food mill. For some reason, it won't put a grabber when you're going that fast. You're going to make animal feed. We are going to put a pasture. We are going to make leather. Send this animal feed down. Send this manure back. And now we should start making leather. We can send that to a tailor. Could probably make this cotton farm even bigger and kind of piggyback off each other. Let's see. Farm. I was hoping there was more affinity for cotton, but doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. But we have so much money that I can just plant basically as much cotton as I want. I don't want to come down that way too much. Let that grow. If I use up fertilizer, I can plant more. There we go. Let it build up and then we'll do the same thing for the grain. So I think what we want to do is we're collecting cotton here. So we don't really need we're focusing so much on t-shirts. I feel like that's probably the slow part here, is that we're doing both. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. One thing at a time. We need water. This farm, this, to this. Now that should be able to start producing. And we want to send leather directly, basically into a general store. I think that might be the best. And then we'll just make a path way out here. Farm, farm, pasture, I think. Oh, there it is. Oh, we just haven't unlocked it yet. Town center level 5. Required research farming. Oh, it's saying I don't have a pasture yet. Maybe it needs to be closer to my path. Now I have a pasture. So switching to farming will increase the output chance from all of my, I think from all of the things under this town specialty. That seems like it could be a fun thing to do, given that I'm doing so much farming right now. Actually, maybe I wouldn't even need this, but again, ahead of myself. So we're sending leather here. And then I think I also want to send leather here. Start making a cloak. And then all I need is some fiber, so that's what this one will do, is this one I will set up with a workshop to make me fiber. Oops, not a workshop. I did this last time, didn't I? Needs to be a... That is a workshop. Why didn't I see it? Am I blind? I might be blind. Ah, that was looking at the wrong thing. Cloth, not fiber. So now we will send cloth along. Send that to the tailor. And tailor can start making jackets and sell those as well. Sell leather. Output leather. Let's add some more wheat to this, just to make this function that much more smoothly. Again, got plenty of money, and there you have it. Now, I think I'm going to, as my last couple things today, let's clear that little area. Maybe one more spot of trees. Stick a barn there. Just like last time, let's store some fertilizer. Now, let's just start storing that stuff. And then I can get it back to these farms as well if I just build a little bit of a ramp. I think maybe up to, what do you think? At the height of that. If I replace, definitely if I go up to a third. Let's just go up to a third and stay safe. What am I missing? There, that wasn't so hard, was it? Goodness. And then same thing, we'll just add a little splitter. Ta-da. And then we can just up the production of these. And do one last check-in. See how everything is looking. So we've got this whole production over here. The conveyor belts are lining up, so I think that's a really good sign. That they're probably overproducing. So that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, we're 100% on all the stuff, grain, flour, apple juice, and milk. That tells me we are fully producing. And then 100% on apple jam. Very close to 100, if not 100, on all of our production there. So our little houses should be very, very happy. Basic food could get one more. Now that we've upgraded, so maybe a fish, add some bread, another raw product maybe, education, could definitely do more, add a book. It looks like there's other things later on. And gourmet could add more, but overall, I think we're doing really great, especially for only 18 houses. I could double up the houses and really just spike that happiness, I think, very easily. So I think this is a great place to leave it off. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching us tackle the early game. I think the next time we play, we will try to figure out how to advance this along, and I will have run the mid-game campaign by then in order to have a better idea of how to make it happen. So, thanks for watching.